Get ready. You're listening to Give God 90 live.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And there we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Give God 90. We are live on a Thursday night. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll give folks a few minutes to get going here while I make sure my technology is doing what it's supposed to be doing. My name is Jerry Mitchell, your host for Give God 90. Sitting next to me, the person who has the hardest job in the entire world, my lovely wife, Myra.
Hello.
And next to her, we have Blair back. Our young...
Hi.
Hey, Karen's watching. Our youngest grandchild.
Hi,
And,
Karen. Hi, Aunt Karen.
because we... well, Blair's here because her mother is going to pick her sister up from the airport. So while she's here, we're going to pick her brain. We're going to ask her some really tough questions like, what's 12 times 12? So as folks kind of join in and do that, we'll be there in a minute. Let me remind everyone who joins us, we are live on Facebook, we're live on Spreaker, which carries this through just about every podcast platform there is. There's Jay joining us on Facebook. Glad to see you, Jay. I bet everybody else is with you
Hi,
too.
Jay.
And you don't have to raise it that high. They can see you because you
just
can't.
can't
We
see
have
it.
words on the computer screen where people pop up and we see who's here. So Blair's trying to figure out the technology too. As more and more people join us around the world, we have a lot of people from a lot of places. We have there's even Kathy's watching tonight. We have folks from Uganda watching. We have folks typically in Ukraine. Typically, they're going to watch on. I think it's what Carol calls reruns. They'll watch us later after they wake up because it's nighttime there now. It's very late there now. But all over the world, us Dubai. We have folks in Dubai that watch us now. We have just all kinds of stuff, and it really is humbling that we have that many people all over the world kind of tune in to see what we're saying. And we certainly appreciate that. For all the new folks that are coming on, let me welcome all of them. Let them know that we are on, not just on Facebook, not just on Spreaker on the podcast. We have a website, givegod90.com. Lots of stuff there you can go check out. We're on YouTube. All over the place. Just about every social media platform, that's where you're going to find us. Yes, we're on YouTube.
No.
But anyway, we broadcast Thursday nights live simultaneously at the same time even on the Spreaker platform and on Facebook as well. So all of that to be said, we're kind of running a one-horse show. We do it all right from here. There's more technology in this little place now than there ever has been. Something I learned just a little while ago. Sean's even watching tonight.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Mr. Sean.
Chances are there will be someone in the next few weeks that he's really thinking about coming on and joining us for an evening. That's going to be interesting. Butch. I talked to Butch today. So he's thinking about doing that. So that's going to be interesting because he is going to give a really interesting viewpoint from his perspective of the way he sees things now. Adults... Sean said hello, Blair.
Huh?
He can read it right there. It's right on the screen. Right on the bottom. Be careful. Yeah, adults like to complicate things. We really do. It's sad that we do this, but we really like to complicate things. Children like things easy and simple, don't you? You don't care what 12 times 12 is yet, right? But really, the book of Numbers is really a book about how to count. Because what the Almighty is doing in the book of Numbers is He's giving the early Israelites a lesson in mathematics. And He's teaching them how to survey. He's teaching them how to do census work. He's teaching them all the fundamentals of math. A gentleman named Miles Jones took that information and really took a bunch of first graders, put them up against a bunch of Mensa people, and outdid them. Because he's teaching Bible math, and Mensa folks are using other stuff. So what we witness there is kids like things simple, and Bible likes to put things in simple ways. We really see some interesting things here in Matthew 19. And for my Jewish listeners, don't be afraid of what I'm about to say. You're going to see where this goes, because this is going to be really cool. Twice in Gospels, in Matthew and in Luke, Yeshua, is doing what he does. He's out teaching. He's telling people, don't worry about what the Pharisees say. You just do what Moses says. And in chapter 19, verse 13, it says, "Then the people brought their little children to Jesus so that he could put his hands on them and pray for them. When his followers saw this, when the disciples saw this, they were like, don't, stop, you can't bring those kids in here. But Jesus said, let the little children come to me, don't stop them, because the kingdom of heaven belongs to the people who are like these children. After Jesus put his hands on the children, he left. Isn't that amazing? Now, the same event is told in Luke. You want to read the Luke passage?
Some people brought their small children to Jesus so that he could touch them. When the followers saw this, they told the people not to do this. But Jesus called the little children to him and said to his followers, let the little children come to me. Don't stop them, because the kingdom of God belongs to people who are like these little children. And I tell you the truth, you must accept God's kingdom like a little child, or you will never enter it.
Now, I bet we've all been in church service where, the little baby starts to get a little unsettled. Maybe things are getting boring for maybe a 1 or 2 year old. And mothers are nervously kind of get them out the back door without being seen. We've seen that, right? Don't do that. Just don't do that. I had when I was leading a worship service one evening, there was a mother. This child was maybe 6 months old and had a healthy set of lungs on this child. I mean, this child was singing to the top of his best breath. Carol says hi on Facebook. Hi, Carol. We're glad you're with us. She started to get up and leave. I said, where are you going? And she looked at me like, I've called her out now, right? And she says, well, I don't want to bother anybody. I said, you're not bothering a soul. You let that child praise the Almighty the best way he knows how right now. We all know churches, I'm sure, that, we want young people, but we want them to sit on the pew, and we want them to, put their hands in, hold their fingers intermingled in their hands, like hands in jail time, is what you used to tell the kids, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how we want them to sit all through this boring service. Kids don't do that. Kids like things simple, just like Jay said. He doesn't like things complicated. By the way, next Friday, not tomorrow night, next Friday night when Messianic Delaware meets, I get to teach on Paul. And it's going to be at least a 2-part teaching, and I'm going to call it Paul Uncomplicated. He ain't complicated if you know what to look for. Trust me. So we're going to uncomplicate this, just like we're kind of going to do tonight. Because what we're going to do tonight is look at Psalm 1. Because Psalm 1, David starts out doing something really cool. And we're using, by the way, tonight, all the International Children Bible verses, or Bible translation here. So Blair is going to start with just verse 1, just the first verse. Yep, and read it nice and loud so everybody can hear you.
Okay. Happy is the person who doesn't listen to the wicked. He doesn't go where sinners go. He doesn't do what bad people do.
Okay, stop right there for a second. Because now, you can put that down so everybody can see you, except you. Because I want to ask you something. What does it mean if you're happy because you don't listen to bad people?
It means probably it means like you're happy since you don't have to do what bad people have to do.
What do bad people have to do?
They have to go to jail?
Well, that's sometimes, yeah, they do. They do. So, by the way, Sean says, great job reading. Thank you, Sean. So if you're happy because you're not listening to bad people, you're not listening to people who don't want to do what God says to do. Okay? And then it says you don't go where sinners go. You just don't do the things they do, right? So what does that mean? You think of something that you shouldn't do. I'm putting her on the spot now because she's kind of looking around. The folks on the podcast, the audio only, can't hear this or can't see this, but she's kind of, you can see the wheels turning. I don't think you have to worry about going to jail, Sean.
That's something bad.
So what's something bad that you shouldn't do?
What do you get in trouble for?
Ooh, my mom's getting you in trouble now. Should you always tell the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because if you don't always tell the truth, what happens?
You get in trouble?
You get in trouble. Yeah, and usually you get in more trouble if you try to cover it up by not telling the truth, right? Yeah, how about that? So, if you're going to be happy if you don't listen to bad people. Now, how do we know what's bad? How do we know what's bad? Who tells us what's good and bad?
The Lord?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you do what he says to do and you don't do what he says you don't do, then you're going to be good, right? All right. Can you read verse 2?
Mm-hmm. He loves the Lord's teachings. He thinks about those teachings day and night.
Now, what most Christians aren't taught is the Shema, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and you listen or you read, it's going to say, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one." And part of that commandment is you concentrate on the Almighty's teachings day and night. David kind of steals this from Moses here, okay? And stealing sometime, well, I guess I should say he borrowed it from Moses. If you're constantly thinking about what God says to do, Blair, if you're constantly thinking about the things God says to do, are you going to listen to bad people?
No.
Okay. Now, do you want to read the third verse, or you want me to read the third verse? Or you? I'll tell you what. Let my mom read the third verse. Do you want to read it?
I want to try.
You want to try? Okay.
He is strong like a tree planted by a river. It produces fruit in seasons. Its leaves don't die. Everything everything he does will succeed.
Very good. Okay. So, if a tree's planted beside a river, does it get plenty of water?
Yes.
All right. So if this tree's getting plenty of water, okay, is it going to have good fruit or bad fruit?
Grapefruit.
It's going to have great fruit. Not grapefruit, but grapefruit, right?
Great.
Unless it's a grapefruit tree. Okay. So, you have a tree that's well watered, it's well taken care of, it's healthy, and it's going to have good fruit. Now, is good fruit good to eat or bad to eat?
Good to eat.
It's good to eat. Yeah,
It's
because
healthy.
it's healthy. It's going to be sweet when it's ripe, right? And it says its leaves aren't going to die. It's going to bear fruit year round, and everything it does will be successful. Do you know what it means to be? I know you know what it means to be successful. What's it mean to be successful?
It means, like, say you tried something over and over again, but it didn't go right, but you tried it again and it went perfect.
Very good. Now you know why I call this Through a Child's Eyes, because this is about as basic as you can get. You're going to be happy if you don't listen to bad people, and you don't go where they go,
That's right.
and you don't do what they do. Okay? And he says you're going to love the Lord's teachings. You're going to think about them all the time, so they're always with you. And you're going to be like a tree that gets plenty of water. It's going to be healthy. Everything's going to be great. Sean just said great job too, and we'll read all these to her later, folks. So that's what good people do. Now, what do bad people do? It says, you want to read it or you want me to read it? Yeah, I can read it. Okay.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Go ahead and read verse 4.
But wicked people are not like that. They are like useless chaff that the wind blows away.
Now, a while ago, when she was reading through this, she didn't really know what chaff was, right? But you know now.
I want to tell.
What is it?
It's like the green stuff on your corn that you throw up.
Throw away.
Throw away.
There you go. It's the...
Throw away is
Chaff.
that trap thing.
Yeah. It's the stuff that's not good. Right? The stuff that just, like when everybody knows what corn is, right? When you peel an ear of corn, when you shuck an ear of corn, there's the silk and the husk that you don't eat. People don't eat. Some people might, but I don't. And I grew up eating this stuff, so...
Well, for people that don't know what corn...
Yeah.
That don't know what corn is, it would be like peeling a banana.
Okay, you throw away the peel.
Throw away the peel.
Unless you eat the peel. No, nobody eats the peel?
I don't know anyone that eats the peel.
Okay.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
I don't personally know anybody that eats the banana peel either, but there may be somebody out there that's
Maybe.
hungry. I don't know. But there's just things that aren't good. The stuff that blows away when it dries up, it just leaves. It's useless. It has no value. There's no nutritional value, there's no financial value, there's nothing to it that makes it beneficial. It's bad. When pigs don't eat it, it's probably worthless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's what we're talking about getting rid of. The wicked people are like that. They're so worthless to the Almighty that he just lets them go. He says, pigs won't even have anything to do with you. Now think about that from a Hebrew standpoint. Okay, I'll read verse 5. You don't need to read verse. So the wicked will not escape God's punishment. Sinners will not worship God with good people. What we're looking at, by the way, wicked, it comes from twisting together. If you twist something together, you get like a candle wick, right? Because they're twisted.
Right.
That's where we get the word wicked from wick, being twisted together. If you mix something good and bad, it's going to turn out to be bad all the time. Mm-hmm. So that's where we get the word wicked from. They twist this stuff together, and they're not going to escape God's punishment. It's just not going to happen. Sinners don't worship the Almighty with good people. Everybody talks about, the sinner's got to come to church. Well, guess what? The sinner can come to church, but he's not going to get as much out of it as the person who is really trying to turn their life around. Mm-hmm. It's that right. Simple. Okay, go ahead and read verse 6.
This is because the Lord protects good people, but the wicked will be destroyed.
So the wicked are not going to escape punishment. They're going to be destroyed. That's it in a nutshell. You can either, and this is going a whole lot faster than I was really expecting you to, but you can either be a good person and do what is right in the Almighty's eyes, okay? And what you're going to wind up doing, David's going to explain later, in like Psalm 23, is dwelling in the house of the Lord forever, right?
Right.
Or, as John describes it in the book of Revelation, the wicked are not going to escape God's punishment, and they will be destroyed. And we realize that their destruction is complete, right? There's nothing left. Do you know what, if I ask you to explain, do you know what destroy means?
Mm-hmm.
What does destroy mean to a 7-year-old?
It means like you're knocking down something.
Okay. Is that all? You're just going to knock it down?
You're going to knock it down, which means you're destroying it.
Okay. So they're going to get knocked down. Now to some people it might not happen soon enough, right? Because we all know, it's like, he cut me off again. I wish, Lord, you got to do something with this guy. He cut me off again. It's the same car did it yesterday. Just relax. He'll get what's coming to him. So will you, right?
Right.
So be careful. Be careful. Because happy is the person who doesn't listen to the wicked, to the evil things, to the bad people. Because you don't want to do what the bad people do, right? When we bring this stuff down so that even a 7-year-old can understand it, and by the way, the first 5 books of your Bible were supposed to be read every 7 years to everybody. I see you, Jay. But they were supposed to be read every 7 years to the entire nation. They were supposed to be read no matter who was there. People were expected to stand, not sit in the shade, but stand and listen to the people who were reading. And it was designed to be so easy to understand that someone Blair's age could hear it. They could hear this thing. They could understand their part of what they had to do. And it was so easy to do, they could go do it. How about that? From the mouths of babes. At least I didn't have, what was the guy's name? Art Link. At least I didn't have an Art Linkletter moment here. So, folks, I don't know how to make it any easier than what we just did right here. Right? Because David lays it out in Psalm 1 from beginning to end. You don't want to listen to the people who stand in opposition to the Almighty. Because at the end of the day, the people who listen to God are going to be happy. And the people who don't listen to God will be knocked down.
That's right.
And they're not going to get back up again.
No.
That is, like I said, that's it in a nutshell. Broken down, it's uncomplicated. You're right, Jay. Man did make it hard. This is about as uncomplicated as it gets. So, Blair, you might have a new fan club out there, hon. You'll be getting fan mail. Ladies and gentlemen, we certainly do appreciate everything you do for us. Don't forget the like buttons, the share buttons, because this, as easy as this is, this one needs to be out there for sure. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Until next week, have a blessed week.